everyone, how are you getting on? Sean Ferrick here for Trek Culture, and I want to open with a very big Chongha Gongxi congratulations to Michelle Yeoh, who took home the Golden Globe for Best Actress for her performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once. To Trekkies, of course, she is best known as Captain and then later Emperor Georgiou. So, it will come as little surprise with the timing of this news that just after she wins the Golden Globe, Paramount Global have rushed to come forward and say that yes, the long-touted Section 31 series is still in talks. There is an announcement from Tanya Giles, the head of creative content for Paramount Global and CBS, that yes, the Section 31 series is still in development. Yes, conversations are happening. And that's about it for detail. Let's not forget the fact we're talking about this for 4 years now. So they want to remind us that it's still on the table and not to give up hope. I want to offer my own very tempered opinion of this, which is I do think eventually something will materialize. Perhaps not what was envisioned 4 years ago. I don't want this clip to age very badly. Like, for example, in 2 years, I don't want a clip of me to surface going, hey, you know that Section 31 show? Never gonna happen. I don't want that because I don't want this to age quite badly, and I really want this show to go ahead. The problems facing this show is now, how the heck do you pin down Michelle Yeoh for long enough to make a series? She's like the busiest person in Hollywood at the moment. And there's also the other names that have been attached to it as well, such as Shazad Latif, who we obviously haven't seen return to Star Trek since season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. There's ways and means. It was teased, you might say, in Star Trek Lower Decks, with William Boimler getting his black Combadge Delta. You know, we're going to see Jack Quaid in a live action series. Listen, that's for another, here's all of the maybe things that might be happening with it. The hard facts is that Michelle Yeoh is an incredible actor and is definitely getting the recognition that she deserves. Like, this is amazing news. She deserved that Golden Globe, no question. I really want this show to go ahead. Now, if we are to believe what we're being told, it's gonna happen. It may not be today and it may not be tomorrow, but it is coming. We will need to wait until, kind of official statements are put out, and it would be great to see an official statement from Michelle Yeoh herself about it. But the reason we're bringing this to you today is the fact that it's good news, or it seems to be good news, the flame is being kept alive. Next up is a little bit of news about Star Trek Picard's 3rd season, which is launching on February 16th next. Tara Bennett, writing for sci-fi.com, brings us some more news about Star Trek Picard's 3rd season. Specifically, the fact that it's being touted as a reunion of TNG DS9 and Voyager actors. If you just look at the lineup as it is, you've got pretty much the entire returning cast of the main cast of The Next Generation. That would include Michael Dorn. Michael Dorn, of course, starring in 4 out of 7 seasons of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So that could be what they mean. And with that, you've got Jerry Ryan, who, of course, 7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager. Technically, we could be going, well, this actually isn't news at all. Of course it was going to be a reunion of actors from these 3 series. Unless it's a tease that something else is coming. Possibly who else? Let's think Deep Space Nine. Who was somebody who was on Deep Space Nine and The Next Generation? Colin Meaney. In Encounter at Farpoint, and he was in All Good Things. Thematically, it would make a lot of sense for him to appear in what is being called the last season, the final season of Star Trek Picard. And if this is the true send-off for the Next Generation crew, then it would be thematically quite nice to have him there. It could be anything else altogether. If you look at the Voyager lineup as well, wouldn't it be quite nice to see Kate Mulgrew reprise the role in live action? The Star Trek Prodigy canon is that she was out piloting, or she was out commanding the USS Dauntless. We know the Voyager A is somewhere around there, and this is set roughly 20 years after Prodigy. So it's very possible they may not want to lock Kate Mulgrew into that's what's going to happen at this period of time. So that is a possibility as well. But of course, who knows? While I'm on the topic of Star Trek Picard, In an interview recently, both Sir Patrick Stewart and Alex Kurtzman addressed the idea of the show continuing on past this final season. Now, I'm sure through the magic of editing, the poster for the final season of Star Trek Picard is beside me, in which it is very much advertising that this is the final season. But as they've both said, why would you put a bad thing to bed? According to an article on TrekMovie.com, they both address the idea of the show continuing past whatever the finale they have planned for us. Alex Kurtzman says, well, yes, if something is working and if it's blowing the doors off, then absolutely, we would want to keep going with that. Patrick Stewart addressed the idea that, he'd like to appear in movies again. He'd like to keep the role going as long as the standard that has been set for the storytelling continues. Maybe he's saying that because Jean-Luc has blown up in the last episode and they don't want to give any spoilers away. We don't know. This would be quite a good distraction. Of course, there's been lots of talk about the idea of a Seven and Raffi spin-off series. There really is any number of directions that it could take. What we will do is bring you any news on any upcoming series as it comes out. But to those of us hoping for a continuation, particularly of this time period in live action, that candle of hope might still be burning. Probably at least one more trailer before the series drops, so when that is there, we will give you a breakdown of that. And we also have our very own Clive Burrell is writing everything we know about Star Trek Picard Season 3 so far. That article will be with you soon. Next up, I want to tell you about a very important event that's going ahead on January the 14th. In its simplest form, TrekTalks 2 is a whole host of Star Trek celebrities coming together for live panels, interviews, and performances in aid of the Hollywood Food Coalition. Now, this is a very cool thing. You can donate online. TrekTalks.net is the website that you can donate to. We've got people involved like John Billingsley, and I promise you, if you go near Twitter, you will not miss the fact that John Billingsley is involved in this. We've also got Anson Mount, we've got Scott Bakula, we've got Bonnie Gordon, we've got so many people. David Livingston are all going to be involved in this. It is a wonderful initiative that is purely to help people who are struggling. So I truly encourage you to tune in. It's all going to be available online via their YouTube channel. And again, as I say, trektalks.net. It'll go live from 9:45 Pacific time, 12:45 Eastern time, which works out to 7:45 UK and Ireland time. Definitely check that out. And the last thing I want to ask you all is, everyone, if you've been watching the news this week, or if you've been anywhere near a Twitter which has tagged Star Trek in it, you will know that a certain Oscar-winning actor emphatically stated that he is a Trekkie. So I want to hear from you. I want to know, what Star Trek series would you like to see with Nicolas Cage featuring in it? Do we want to get him in one of the existing ones already? Can you imagine Nicolas Cage appearing in Star Trek Strange New Worlds? Can you imagine him rocking up, even voice only, in Star Trek Lower Decks? 'Cause I can. Or as some sort of eccentric alien in Star Trek Discovery? Who knows? What would you like? Or would you like an entirely new series altogether, complete spin-off, Star Trek The Adventures of Cage? I wouldn't mind that, to be honest. I'd be okay with that. But yeah, he did an interview there during the week. He was asked if he was, would you like to be in a Star Wars? And he was like, I'm a Trekkie. I'm like, oh, Nicolas Cage, you're my person. I have my love for Star Wars, but you're my person, Nicolas Cage. But I want to hear from you. What do you think? Everyone, let us know in the comments below. Everyone, you're awesome. Check us out over on Twitter at Trek Culture. You can catch us on Instagram at Trek Culture YT as well. I am at Sean Ferrick on Twitter and all the various socials. Check me out on YouTube as well at Sean.Ferrick. You can check out our wonderful editor Chris at EditChrisEdit on all of the various socials. And before I run out of breath, let me just say to you, live long and prosper. I'll chat to you soon, and thanks very much.